It's the nth act in the Nataka of Karnataka, a big rebellion brewing against Chief Minister BS Yediyurappa. The current tremors have been triggered by reports that 50 to 60 MLAs want BSY out. The Chief Minister himself has hit back, flaunting support from Lingayat seers and saying on record that he will continue to be Chief Minister till the time the High Command asks him to resign. So what is going on? Are we now heading towards YEXIT, or will this Nataka carry on? Our Bengaluru bureau with our lead story tonight.
The war is on. The rumblings are real. And the end game could be the most unthinkable upheaval for Chief Minister Yediyurappa, with the BJP government firmly sitting in factions for and against the Chief Minister. Wheels have begun to turn, both within the party and in the Chief Minister's office. Most crucially, the BJP's Karnataka unit will hold a core committee meeting on June 17th, amidst all this talk of leadership change in the state. The party's Karnataka in charge will use the meeting to submit a mood of the party report to the BJP High Command in Delhi. Breaking his silence a few days ago on speculation over the speculated leadership change, Yediyurappa said he will resign only when they ask him to do so.
ಎಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ಡೆಲ್ಲಿ ಹೈಕಮಾಂಡ್ ನನ್ನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ವಿಶ್ವಾಸ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಅಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೆ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ ಮುಂದುವರಿತೇನೆ. ಯಾವ ದಿವಸ ನೀವು ಬೇಡ ಯಡಿಯೂರಪ್ಪನವರೇ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೋ ಆ ದಿವಸ ರಾಜೀನಾಮೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಅಭಿವೃದ್ಧಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಹಗಲು ರಾತ್ರಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಯಾವುದೇ ಗೊಂದಲದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನಿಲ್ಲ.
But Yediyurappa is matching his words with some signature flexing of his Lingayat muscle. Yediyurappa's son, B.Y. Vijendra, a party vice president himself, has held meetings with prominent Lingayat seers, raising eyebrows in political circles.
All of them, MLAs are also trying to gather their support. CM is also trying to gather support. But still, with the entire state in a big loss, at the time of COVID, we all are suffering. We are suffering. We are begging for lives. They are begging for power.
With that talk, Yediyurappa will not continue in the top post, and attempts are underway to unseat him. The imagery also serves as a reminder of Yediyurappa's strength.
As Yediyurappa has not gained support from his MLAs, his family has now turned to seers from his community to rally behind him. However, this meeting is termed as a courtesy call, but the political message is strong and clear.
But as we have reported before, Yediyurappa, the Lingayat strongman, cannot be easily dethroned, and has proven in the past that looking beyond him can be a problematic exercise for the BJP. But if Mission YEXIT does manage to gather strength, if BJP High Command decides to replace Yediyurappa with another Lingayat, these are four probables. And if BJP decides to go with communities other than Lingayats, these are the four probables. Yediyurappa has been known to quell many a rumbling in the past. The question is, will things be different this time? With Nagarjuna Rahul in Bengaluru, Bureau Report, India Today.
So will there be a YEXIT, or will this simmer continue? Joining me for perspective on the latest political story which has all of Karnataka buzzing at this moment, I want to introduce first our correspondent Nagarjuna. He's heading our Bengaluru Bureau. With us is our National Affairs Editor Rahul Shrivastava. TM Veeraraghav joins us. He's been part of the India Today group of political commentators for the elections. For political perspective, I'm joined by Mohan Krishna, leader of the Karnataka State BJP, BS Yediyurappa, leader of the Congress. And let's get started. We have Sandeep Shastri joining us with Lokniti, understands the ins and outs of Karnataka politics. What's your best assessment at this moment, Nagarjuna? How many of Karnataka's BJP MLAs want BS Yediyurappa to continue as Chief Minister? How many would like to see his back? Is the sense in Karnataka at this moment that Yediyurappa's exit is inevitable, or do people think that this will continue in a soft simmer in the manner that it is right now?
Well, Rahul, it's still a catch-22 situation for most MLAs here because they still don't have a credible face if someone has to replace Yediyurappa. But on the other hand, at least 60% of them are against him in terms of the last 8 to 10 months, starting off with the cabinet expansion where a lot of aspirants were there and they could not get a berth and Yediyurappa didn't accommodate them. It started from there, but of late in the last 10 months, people could not meet him. MLAs were trying to reach him. He was not accessible is the allegations. And the biggest allegation that comes that the family interference, most of the 5-time, 3-time MLAs who have won would have to go meet the family for daily administration work. And why would they do so is the MLAs are questioning. So it all boiled up in the last 10 to 12 months. And it has reached now where the rumblings has come out in public. MLAs are speaking out in public. Ministers are speaking out in public. But the big question for High Command is, who after Yediyurappa, because they till now have not groomed the second-line leaders, and that's the catch-22 situation today.
Rahul Shrivastava, what's the mood in the central BJP at this moment? In 2013, when Yediyurappa was ousted in inglorious circumstances, he went and formed his own party, as a result of which the Siddaramaiah-led Congress government came to power, and the BJP was, out of power in the state. Otherwise, if Yediyurappa had continued, they would have stayed on in power. Does the central leadership at this moment want Yediyurappa to continue, or are they now beginning to get frustrated and this reaches a point where at some point in time a decision becomes inevitable?
Rahul, the BJP is caught in a bind. You see, in South India was a planet out of the BJP solar system at one time. Two things happened to the BJP. One is Yediyurappa, and then a dominant vote bank that he controls, the Lingayat. And that is why last time around he became chief minister despite crossing that age limit ceiling that the BJP has created for holding public office. He's close to 78, I think. The problem right now for the BJP is that one, it has no alternative to Yediyurappa, and second, it has no alternative to the Lingayat caste. Karnataka politics for the BJP has operated on two terms. One is mutts and second is money. Now, in that scenario, what has happened in the last few days, you have had the Sutur Mutt from Mysore, Chitradurga, Tumkur, all over them coming out in the open, backing Yediyurappa as a defense mechanism. In that scenario, the BJP's options get limited further, because if you see the three deputy chief ministers, one of them is a Lingayat but not a very strong leader. And that's why the BJP is yet to find a replacement, though it knows that it has 2 years' time to create a new leader and give Karnataka a leader. I think the issue that the BJP like to tackle first is what Nagarjuna said. The interference by the family is basically the son. One of the sons has become the single point entry into the Yediyurappa Darbar. The BJP will like to tackle that first.